like to read my story in memoriam of Alexander's restaurant. Okay, I admit it. I can't cope with a kitten. I used to be able to raise children. Now I can't even raise a small cat. Lunch meat, my cat, is whittling my furniture and my legs to confetti. She needs to have her face right up in my face while I sleep. And her whiskers tickle, and that affects my dreams. Clyde, what the hell are you doing? Oh, lunch meat, damn it, let me sleep. So, I returned from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Not a must-see for most, but it's better than Wichita. And immediately upon returning to work, I was accosted by our receptionist who demanded that I don't declaw my cat. My little lunch meat is bleeding me out. Those little needle claws you only hear about on nature shows or the Discovery Channel reenactments of velociraptor attacks, he said clumsily. She's sweet and lovable, but she loves to climb me. I'm perforated in tours in ways I've only seen in Vietnam footage. Now, our receptionist came at me with this fervor so zealous that it offended me, and I used to be a born-again Christian. It's amputation. Would you amputate your daughter's first fingers to the first knuckle? My thought is if she's tearing up the furniture and me, she's got it coming. I'm not sure I'm declawing her anyway. She may end up being an outdoor cat, I told her. This started a new attack. No, you don't want her to be an outdoor cat. That's bad. You need to trim her nails. Just get in the habit of massaging her toes. Massaging, yes.
Are you a misogynist?
There's a dictionary that comes with the book that will explain my personal verbal foibles. Say that 5 times fast. So anyway, get in the habit of massaging her toes to get her used to the idea of clipping. Look, I don't have time to feed the thing, much less sit around and give her random foot massages. It's not like I haven't had to go through this kind of decision process before. When my son was born, I had to decide whether or not to have him circumcised. Will he be an indoor son or an outdoor son? Will he damage the furniture? What if I don't have him trimmed? Massages are absolutely out of the question. If you want to know what I did decide to do with my son, you'll have to get to know him very well. Although I did have him spayed later. I finally told the woman I got lunch meat from that I was giving her back. This will save the cat from a trip to the nearest Chinese restaurant. Speaking of restaurants, I frequent a restaurant called Alexander's Family Restaurant here in Lockport, mostly to flirt with the waitresses, and by frequent, I mean that I damn near haunt the place because I'm there so often. Tonight I ordered a chicken meal that included spinach, and my body noticed the sudden, unlikely intake of nutrients that I could actually feel my organs lining up like Russians in a bread line to get some. My eating habits suck. I named my cat lunch meat, for God's sakes. But it gets exponentially worse during the holidays. Donuts, Christmas cookies, chocolate, you know it's bad when the best thing you do for your body is to treat it to some Doritos because there used to be corn involved in the recipe somewhere. When it gets so bad that co-workers begin to make comments, I tell them, hey, bodies like this don't just happen. This takes effort and focus. I'm looking for a chuckle, of course, but the look they give me is usually profoundly sad. I've noticed lately that the ladies can't seem to keep their eyes off of me, and luckily for me, my hearing aid is so bad that I've never noticed that they're making a sound that sounds much like, ah. Assuming the best about myself, I interpret this as being ogled at by these women. My perception is that they're saying to each other, wow, look at that piece of prime beefcake over there. Even though if I read their lips, I can see them shaping the word, aw. Secure in my little fantasy world, I strut my 240 pounds of aging body in a way that more closely resembles waddling. It's not easy being eye candy, especially when you look like I do. I'd say I'm more like eye broccoli, or not actually good for you in any way. Maybe I'm like an eye donut. I guess what I'm saying is, go ahead and look, but you really don't want me anywhere near your mouth. I had a real bad scare last week when Alexander's was seized and closed for tax evasion. Apparently, it was an oversight, and money was paid, and a couple days later, the restaurant reopened. But for 2 days, I didn't know what to eat. I panicked because I thought I'd starve to death. To get by, I started tearing large chunks of my grass from my lawn and eating that. At the end of the second day, I was answering my phone by saying, moo. By the third day, I began lactating. It was touch and go for a bit there, but things regulated finally, and my world began to make sense again. My main concern is that the restaurant is on shaky ground, and there's been talk of bankruptcy or relocation, and I have no family or any vague understanding of how to care for myself. If I lose the restaurant, I will wither and die. At least for a little bit. I figure after the first 40 pounds, I'll look great. That's if I can find a shirt without milk stains around the nipples.